Hey, everybody, welcome to Shut Up and Listen to Her. Have you guys missed us? Tiffany, this is the first time we've seen each other in a long time, so that
Yes,
you
I've missed
understand.
you.
I missed you too. It's been tough. It's been a while. How you been?
I've been pretty good. In the I always feel like with chronic illness people, like when we say I've been pretty good, we have to like be like
Air
pretty
quoted?
good
Yeah.
in air quote. But for me,
It's relative.
it's relative. I've been pretty like I don't have too much to complain about, so that's good.
Yeah. I've been, they're like, "Are you better now?" And I'm like, "Oh no." Uh, but I'm making steps forward. And I think that's the biggest thing that we have to
Yeah,
recognize is we are making steps forward, and that's so huge in getting to the health that we want to have for
yeah,
ourselves. And it's it feels like everything that we do, it's not like when it's summer outside, because like it's winter now, I have to bundle up and put on my shoes and put on my jacket
yeah.
and put on a scarf and a hat, warm up the car, all of these different things that I can't just run to the store. And in the
No,
summertime, I'm like, oh, just grab the keys, walk out the door, head out to the store. It's a completely different process. And I
yes,
feel like with our medical stuff, it's always doing we're putting on our armor, we're grabbing our
yes,
sword and our shield, and we're going off to battle. And it's there's a whole production with everything that we've had to do. There's so much that we have to mentally prepare for, physically prepare for. It's not just grab the keys and walk out the door. And so it's such a there's such a cost
yes,
to ourselves physically and emotionally in dealing with the things that we've had to deal with. And when we realize how hard, how much damage it could have been caused or has been caused by not getting the care that we deserve and that we need, it's overwhelming, it's scary, but when we do get it, it is healing in ways that aren't
hmm,
physical. So
yeah.
let's kind of dive into it. Like, we want to catch everybody up with where we've been, but you've been through a lot. Before we dive into our stories, how are you today?
Are you asking me personally how I am
Yes.
today?
I
Yeah. Um, I'm good. I'm worked up.
I
I'm
know.
worked
Let's
up.
go.
I'm worked up. Like there's just so much with both the I mean, I can get political, but both the Hillarys being hockey Hillary and Hillary Clinton having to answer for men's bad behavior and all that kind of stuff. And then I just finished a book called It's All in Her Head by Dr. Elizabeth Cummings, I think is her name. I'll have to give you the actual. Oh my God, talk about getting worked up in just the history of women's healthcare
Right?
and how um, patronizing and patriarchal and demeaned and diminished, just how women have just been in our healthcare throughout history absolutely subjugated. Absolutely, our only value is having children and, serving husbands' needs for sex, not our pleasure, not our health, not our, anyway, like that book, I'm like, it is so good. And I think every medical provider should need to read it in medical school. And reading it at this time in history, I've just been like, give me somebody to beat up. I'm just
Right?
I'm ready to go.
Absolutely.
And I had this sweet woman online. I made a post about shame and how shame really needs to be taken out of the equation for people with chronic illness. Shame about, we go to the doctor and they're like, you should eat better, you should exercise more, you should lose weight. And this poor woman suffers from Crohn's and lots of the comorbidities that come with Crohn's. And she's like, yeah, but they're right. I really should, manage my eating better. I'm going to the doctor and I'm going to really talk to them about what I can do. And I'm all, sweet woman, darling, sweet woman, your life every day, the things you're having to navigate, from financial issues to emotional to navigating your health to thinking about every bite you put in your mouth already with Crohn's. Oh my God, you sometimes you don't know what's going to cause a flare up. You know some things, but sometimes you have no idea. And I just, it broke my heart that this poor woman is living in this shame box of saying, well, but I've hurt myself. I've hurt myself. And
Right.
I really need to get better at that, about that. And I'm thinking already your life, the mental load you have to make it through every day is already so hard. Get rid of the goddamn shame. Just get rid of it. Get rid of it. So I'm fired up today, Bree. I'm fired up.
I love
Fire
it.
up.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I think we do live in shame, and I felt that way. I remember I went into my cardiologist's office. I hadn't been in a while. This was a lot. This was like 4 years ago. This was before my heart surgery, before a lot of different things happened. And I walked into the office, and first you go in and the nurse takes you in and they weigh you because so you can feel bad about yourself again. And then you go into the room and they take your vitals and then they leave. And then the physician's assistant would come in and she would go over some things with me. But the first thing she said to me when she sat down that day was, "Where have you been? Why haven't you been, you should have been coming in here." Like she was shaming me for not coming in sooner. And I was just, I'm like, I felt like I was in the principal's office, right? Getting yelled at by a teacher. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm paying you, right? To like, I don't want to hear. I mean, even though she probably was right and I should have been in there sooner, when you start to get frustrated with the care that you're getting,
Mm-hmm.
you tend to start not
Yes.
wanting to go get
Yes.
care
It's
because
the hidden cost of medical gaslighting. You stop going to the doctor because you know
they're not going to help
they're not going
you
to do
and they're
anything
just
for
going to
you.
yell at you. They're
Yeah.
not going to tell you anything you don't know. If you were a partner with me in this and you wanted to help me and do help get me healthy, right? I'm willing to do the work. Are
Yep.
you willing to do the work? Because
Yep.
y'all are doing the work right now, right?
Yep.
And so you're going to yell at me for not coming in to spend more money on appointments that aren't going to really help me. It was so frustrating, I remember it so clearly. And she looked just like Sansa Stark. She was a real tall redhead. It was always so funny because I could never remember her name. I know her name
You
now.
want to call her Sansa?
I'm just going to call her Sansa for this for the purposes of TV. But it just was really really hard. And I just didn't want to go in. I didn't want to deal with her. And then when they found out that I was going to go to Mayo for stuff, they were like, "Oh, we can help you." I'm like, "Y'all aren't
Yeah,
helping
really?
me.
But
What
you
are you
haven't.
doing?" So I
So,
spent.
oh,
Go ahead.
sorry. Well, I was just going to say, speaking of heart health, interesting fact, because I just finished this book. So I'm going to be bringing in these interesting facts that piss
I
me
love
off.
it.
So, heart disease was was thought to be the strong man's disease. It's these hardy, virile men, and a heart attack is a virile man's disease. And it was not believed that women had heart disease. All of their symptoms were hysteria, emotions, blah, 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 stress. And it wasn't until fairly recent history that it came to be found out that heart disease is the number one killer of women, more than breast cancer, more than anything else. But because
Yep.
it shows up a little bit differently, and because women were thought to be the weaker sex, and heart disease is the virile men that eat their red meat and are strong, rah rah rah, that women can't get heart disease, and so the you feeling dismissed is because they didn't even think women had heart disease until recent history. And when
Yeah.
I say recent history, we're talking like in our lifetime,
That's
right? Like it
insane.
was in like maybe the 60s or so. I don't remember the exact date, but it was like 50s, 60s when they realized, oh, women do have heart disease. Like what? When I say our like my parents' lifetime, and
Yeah,
like it's recent history. And so, yeah, like
that's
it's
crazy.
you're not imagining the misogyny and the gaslighting because there is so much unlearning the medical system has to do. Even female doctors, the messages they're given in their training, the things they're taught to believe in their training, takes a ton of unlearning for them to, one day go, oh. And for many women, it's them being gaslit that makes them go, oh, I'm a physician and I know my body and I know these processes. And I just had a doctor tell me that I don't know what's wrong with me. And, huh, interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%. And that's the thing too. So, we've been gone. I've been gone. I've been busy. I've been having a lot of stuff going on. So I spent a week in the hospital. After I finally got my cardiologist to say, go to the hospital, we'll put you on IV diuretics. So I kind of talked about that. And what happened at the hospital was I had 3 doctors tell me I was fat, and dismiss me and tell me to go on a diet and that nothing was wrong with me. And I refused to accept that. I kept saying, I want to consult with this. And I was doing the work. And at this point, now in my life, I've been through so much and I've been gaslit so much that I don't take it. I'm like, nope,
Mm-hmm.
that's not what's happening here. I am going to stay and I am going to find out, and you are going to send me specialists until I am at least kind of satisfied that we've explored possibilities. And one of the consults that was recommended to me by ChatGPT, yes, I used that, was to get an oncology consult.
Hmm.
And so an oncologist did come in. It was my last day there. It was after I had the oncology consult that I was then released. Um, and she said, I need to get you in. I want you looked at. I want you to meet with my colleague. And so we're going to schedule appointments right now, because you'll also know that to get in with somebody, I just made a nephrology appointment for like May or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
It's February, right? So it's always far out. But if you're at the hospital and you're working with somebody, you can actually get in relatively quickly. So we made an appointment for me the following week, which was fantastic. So I felt good about that. And I said, because we have some questions. Now, I want to tell you, it's been 5 years. I have been to the doctor. I have had open heart surgery. I've gone to Mayo. I've asked a million different doctors to help me understand why I'm retaining so much fluid in my body. No one has a diagnosis. They send me to this specialist and that specialist. At what point do you have a car that's not driving well? You're going down the road and it's like, and it doesn't want to drive very well. And you check the engine and you check the transmission and everything seems fine. And you're like, I don't know why it's doing this. Why am I driving down the road and I'm like bumping up and down and I can't steer well and things are crappy? When you go to get your car fixed, they look at your entire car.
Yep.
And who would have thought that the reason my car was driving so bad was because I had a flat freaking tire? And y'all never bothered to check the tires. You looked at the engine and you looked at the transmission and you thought, that's all there is. There's nothing more to this car. But there's tires, there's a lot of other things
Yep.
that make a car run. And so the fact that 5 years of doctor appointments never brought me to the point where they looked at anything on the female side of things, of the reproductive system, of to see what was going on in my entire body. So it's mind-blowing to me that I
Yeah.
got that appointment. I went in and I found a doctor who listened. I found a doctor who was like, let's figure this out. Let's check this out.
Thank
And
you, doctor.
I know she's fan freaking tastic. I adore her. And I went to the appointment. She's like, all right, we're going to do a pap smear. And she's like, you know what? She found a tumor. Literally, she could see it. She did a biopsy that same day, all in one appointment. In one day, I got diagnosed with a tumor that I needed a hysterectomy, and that I had that scheduled 2 weeks later. And I'm now 2 weeks post-op. I had a full hysterectomy. They removed a tumor the size of my fist from my body that no doctor in 5 years had seen. And it was a slow growing, non-cancerous. Thank you.
Thank goodness.
I'm so pleased with that. But precancerous from my body.
And
How
what,
did
didn't you
you?
have some on your ovaries as well?
And they found a very, very, very small spot on my ovary, very like minuscule, tiny. Probably wouldn't have noticed it had they not done the hysterectomy. It would have had to get bigger for them to see it. None of that would have been discovered if I hadn't pushed the doctors at the hospital to get me an oncology consult, which then led to this. And within 2.5 weeks, I had a full PET scan. Now, I don't know if you know what a PET scan is, but it literally shows everything in your body. I had a head to toe PET scan. They cost around $18,000. It's insane. But because of her findings, my insurance company paid for it, which was amazing. So I got that done, and it could scan me for cancer throughout my entire body. So I could see, we could see everything at that point.
And are you
And
clear? Is
and I
it
am
good?
clear. I have no cancer in my body, which is amazing. And then a week later, I had the surgery, which that's a whole other thing we can talk about on another day, because nobody prepares you for what that's like.
No.
And I'm still recovering. I'm 2 weeks post-op. But the swiftness of which I got care and correction, which was surgery, and removal of a tumor, and pathology reports, and everything that's coming back is good. It's just, I waited 5 years,
Yep.
and in a matter of 2.5 weeks, I am recovering from having a tumor that large removed from my body. Now, is that the cause of all the other things that are happening in me? I don't
Probably
know yet.
not.
I don't
Yeah.
know yet. Was it putting, I mean, this is a big tumor. Was it putting pressure
Yeah.
on my lymphatic system? Was it causing the
Yeah.
lymphatic congestion that I'm seeing? Is this, we don't even know.
Is it the
I'm
chicken
2
or the
weeks.
egg?
Yeah, exactly. So, but for it to go that long undetected and never been brought to my attention, like, I believe every little thing that you find is so important to at
Yeah.
least look at.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, well, we did notice your cervix was enlarged. And then I find out that my uterine wall was thick, which is definitely a sign of something. There were all these different things, and nobody, but either if they saw it, they ignored it, but nobody ever brought it to my attention, and nobody ever said, we need to look at this. And then you find that doctor who listens to you and takes action. In fact, I meet with her this afternoon. It's just, I don't know. I feel better. I'm exhausted all of the time. The last 2 weeks, the exhaustion
Healing
level
is hard work.
It is. Yeah. I have, 5 incisions this big across my stomach that are healing.
Well, and they have to do a hysterectomy different when they suspect cancer. So you're going to end up with, it's going to hurt more because they have to take the uterus out whole. Just so you know, like,
they took that.
Yeah.
They had to take,
because they can't, in a normal hysterectomy, they can kind of like suck the uterus out, like break it up and suck it out. But when they suspect cancer, they have to take it out whole because, they don't want to release cancer cells into your body. So it's a very different, that was me. I was precancerous as well. And so they had to take it out differently. And
they took everything out ovary.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't get any of those cancers now, which is fantastic, and I'm really pleased with it. And I'm so glad that I had the procedure. But yes, it is a very big procedure. And your body definitely hurts, and it takes a while. And I I'm one of those people, I just want to get back to work. I was back to work the Monday after surgery. I
Mm,
had surgery on Thursday. I was back at my desk on Monday, but I work from home and I can do the things I need to do and I could rest. And I wish I had just taken that whole week off and stayed in
mhm.
bed to heal faster. Cause now I hit levels of exhaustion every afternoon. I'm just like, I have to take a nap. If I don't take a nap, I'm screwed. However, it's healing and we talked about this right before we jumped on today, the healing that happens to your soul and your psyche, the you've finally been treated and
Mhm.
she's like, I don't know if this will help anything, but she did tell me every nurse when I got to um to the hospital to have the surgery, as they were prepping me and doing everything, like, you get there, you arrive 3 hours before surgery, and then they take you in the back and they have all this prep stuff they have to do. And then they were asking me, and I said, I need help with this because I have all this water weight on me. And the doctors told me I was just fat. And as soon as I said that, they're all females. They're like, are you kidding me? They're looking at me. Now they're poking my legs and they're poking my stomach and they're like, this is water. Like, I can see it on you. And then the doctor after surgery said, yeah, there's some fat. And I'm like, not surprised. I haven't been able to move and do any kind of exercise whatsoever for a while because of this water weight. But she's like, you definitely are filled with a lot of water. Like, she could see it. So, it just is a reinforcement. I'm not
Mhm.
crazy. This isn't in my head. I'm not
No.
making this up.
Yep.
Because when you hear 3 medical doctors just say you're fat, all you do is you run in the spiral of,
Yep.
I'm a horrible person. I'm doing this to myself. This is all my fault.
That damn
How could
shame
I
spiral.
be so bad? And I'll tell you, something else happened. And I'm going to share this because I probably would get fired if I I mentioned this and I said, yeah, they took a tumor out the size of my fist. And the reaction from a female was, how did you not know you had that for
How
all
did
these years?
you not know you had that?
I don't understand how people wouldn't know that something was wrong. That they do they not go to the doctor? I don't understand. And I'm like, I didn't know. I didn't know. And I went to the doctor and I begged and sobbed and cried for someone to help me to figure this out. And the doctors,
Bree,
and I went to Mayo. I
somebody
hate bringing
actually
Mayo up
said that
someone.
to you.
Yeah, somebody that I care about said that to me.
Oh, do you know that um, ovarian cancer is called the silent cancer because supposedly by the time you have symptoms, it's already like stage 4? Hell no. Women went to the doctor for 5 years saying something's wrong. My GI symptom, I've got GI symptoms, I've got bloating, I've got this, I've got that. Like something is off in my body. I can't figure it out. I don't feel good. And they complain for 5 years until
Mhm.
finally it gets so bad that they're completely debilitated. And somebody's like, huh, let's look at your ovaries. And oh, you have stage 4 ovarian cancer and you're going to die. Like but
Yep.
it's the silent killer. It's silent because you don't listen to us when we come to you and say something is wrong. Something is wrong. And when you only look at your tiny little puzzle piece, you're going to miss the little piece over here that's saying, hey, I'm wrong and I'm messing up this part. And you may not be able to see exactly what's wrong here, but it's here and it's making this feel awful. We get a ton of referred pain in our bodies because our systems are so intertwined that
Absolutely.
when we have a heart attack, we feel it in our shoulder and our jaw, right? Like it's different than with a man, but it's silent. Women don't have heart disease because they don't have it the same way a man has it.
Exactly.
Women's cancers are silent cancers. No, they're not. No, they're not.
We knew something wrong and we kept trying. And that's and that was
I'm sorry. I'm
it.
so pissed for you. I'm so pissed right now.
I'm pissed about it, but I also it wasn't meant to come across to
Of course
hurt
not.
me, but
It's
I
one of
think
those helpful phrases that hurts like hell.
it hurts. It does hurt, but it also was, I saw it as an opportunity to say, no, that's not. that I have been asking and begging and pleading, and I
Yep.
knew something, I've known something was wrong, and it's people aren't just showing up and having these massive things and we had no idea, right?
Right.
We know something is going on. We know that something is out of whack and something is not right, and we don't have always the right way to verbalize, but we know, and we
Mm-hmm.
talk, and doctors need to understand, like, need to listen
Mm-hmm.
and then ask the right questions to help them decipher what it is we're feeling.
Yeah.
Because I think if we're asked the right questions, not that most doctors aren't, they're just not asking, they don't care,
No.
it's like
Mm-mm.
whatever. And so how was that never looked at? So I had a flat
Right.
tire, and everyone just kept checking the engine and seeing nothing wrong in the engine and saying, you're fine. Oh, your heart, it's fine now, it's great. Your liver, fine. Your kidneys, they're functioning pretty well for all the things you've been through. Your kidneys are doing a great job, right? And they're getting better, they're actually healing. So now I can't even imagine, now that I don't have a huge tumor and all this other stuff going on with me, how my body, because our bodies are meant to heal thyself, really help us repair ourselves.
Yeah.
But when something is broken and wrong, it can't
It
do its
can't.
job because it's trying to fix things that it can't fix. So once those things start to get fixed, our bodies are incredible and can help us heal, which is, yeah, probably that's the time I'm going to be doing the green juice and the somatic healing and the yoga and the other stuff, that now that the major issues have been fixed, because I can throw all that great stuff at it, but that wasn't ever going to get rid of my tumor. It was
No.
never going to help me, right? Never going to get rid of any of that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, I can I just tell you that I have this image of a tumor in a glass container sitting on my desk behind. I didn't, obviously, it's not going to ever happen, but I just kept saying, I'm like, that was like my trophy of saying there was something wrong with me. And I kept picturing that I would like put it in this,
Please, I want
like
my
you,
tumor, please.
like you would put a signed baseball like
Right.
on your shelf.
There's my tumor. There's
There's
my
my
tumor.
tumor. And it's, this is why you couldn't fix me. And I don't know if, I mean, like I said, I have no idea. There's probably a lot of other things going on.
Yeah.
Which leads me to you, because you've also been through that similar journey where you finally got people that would listen to you through the clinical trial that you got into. And they did a lot of work, but that's just the beginning of
Yeah.
a lot of things that you need to. So fill us in as to what's been happening in the last few weeks that we've been off, and how you're feeling. You've had some really great wins, but with those wins we also suffer. It's kind of like I went out drinking, I had such a great time Monday night, but I'm still hurting on Thursday,
Yeah.
kind of a thing.
Yeah. No, just a fun little side note. I've got new insurance, and so I need a new primary care. And so I called for an appointment and I can't get in until April 28th. Just, fun little side note. So when people are like, how come you didn't go to the doctor sooner? Guess what? Can't even get into the primary care, who you need to get referrals to everything else until April.
Yeah.
So there's that. Um, you know. So anyway, and my insurance started February 1st, and I called February 1st. Anyway, okay. Um, I'm doing okay. I'm in that place where I'm like, okay, I really want to start getting my exercise routine back, because I know that I mentally feel better when I exercise. Can I exercise at the level I used to? No. Like I used to run marathons. I used to do 100-mile bike rides, or 65-mile bike rides, 45-mile bike rides. These are things I used to do. And can I do them anymore? No, for lots of reasons. But I can walk, I can lift weights, I can do like balance training and stuff like that. So I'm starting to do that. The other day I did just 5-pound weight resistance training. Bree, I'm still sore from it, and that's like been a week. I, I'm, I, I mean,
Well, we are getting older, that's what happens,
it sounds hilarious,
unfortunately.
but it's not just sore muscle sore. Like it's my calves. They freeze up. They like clench up and freeze up, and
Hmm.
it's beyond sore, right? Like I'm in there a week later, I'm using lotion and like rubbing on my calves, and I can feel all these like band like knots and bands. And so it's like anytime I exercise, then there's going to be days and days and days of extreme pain. Like
Mhm.
it not, yay, you worked out your muscles, good pain. I was an endurance athlete. Like I kind of craved that. Ooh, it hurts to walk down the stairs or sit on the toilet. I'm so sore. Like that was kind of a trophy. No, this is like cannot function pain.
Mhm.
And the other day I did my first 3 mile walk and I was so excited. It wasn't a fast walk, but I did a 3 mile walk. And that was Tuesday. Well, Wednesday, Thursday, I had the hardest time functioning. The exhaustion, painful exhaustion where it felt like sandpapers in my eyes and like I needed toothpicks to keep my eyes open to get my son to school and do the business meetings I needed to do. And by 6 p.m. I was like in bed, like don't ask me to function or talk or anything because I'm done. I'm out. And it's just, in fact, Tuesday I came home I think it was like 5. I brought my son home from school after his tennis practice. And I literally am walking in the door, like shedding clothes, get in bed, and I was out till like 8 p.m. I didn't wake up again. It's like, so that's hard. It's hard because exercise is good for you. It's good for you mentally. It's good. You've got to move your body. You got to move your body systems. But there is a cost to many of us when our bodies, like when things are wrong in our bodies. And, I'm not even 100% sure. I mean, at this point, I have like a dozen diagnoses, but I can't even get into the primary care to say, okay, get me in to get me help because my clinical trial team can only deal with my renal denervation. They cannot give me medication for anything else or do any other scans for anything else that they found. And they found lots of stuff. So, I have to suffer until I can get in to this primary, and then who knows how long the primary is going to make me run around. So that's where I'm at. Long
It's
story
always a
short.
battle. You're always putting on battle gear.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, and that's just the thing of it. It is hard, right? It took me a really long time to get in to see doctors and waiting for appointments. And my son's same way. Endocrinology, how it's like 6 months to a year to get in with an endocrinologist. So
Which
you're
is
just,
crazy.
which is insane because it's such a life or death kind of a thing that you definitely need if you're a
Right.
diabetic type,
Right.
especially a type 1 when you're not making any insulin and you're insulin dependent. It is really, really, really tough, and it's really frustrating, and it makes me wonder, why is this such a problem to be seen. And I got lucky with my PCP, and I've said this, I adore her. She will give me any referral and any test and anything that's within her power to do at
Mm-hmm.
any time, and I can get in relatively quickly with her now that I'm an established patient. Um, and so I am very lucky in that way, so I can always go in and get labs to see where I'm at with things. But I'm also, I meet with my doctor, my oncologist today, and to go over how things, going for me and how my health is doing. But I'm like, okay, this can sound crazy. I don't want there to be anything wrong, but I don't want to stop seeing her.
It doesn't sound crazy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
doesn't sound crazy. Because she cares,
she
because she's giving
cares.
you that
Yeah.
that care that you need, that hope that you need, that she sees you as a person
Mhm.
fighting for your life and doing the best you can. And she's acted like a partner in your care. And she has said, yeah, this is important and we need to take care of you. Like she's completely validated
Mhm.
you've been screaming into the void for a couple of years going, this isn't right. I know my body. This isn't right. This is water weight. Help me, help me. And everybody's like, meh, 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 meh. And she said, oh, but I hear you. So of course you want to see her again.
Mhm.
What might be good is voice that to her and
Yeah,
say,
I'm going to.
this is she needs to know that the time and care she's giving you is worth it. A lot of female physicians carry an extra load because they do care and they do spend the extra time talking, and therefore they tend to make less money because they see less patients, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is a cost to caring physicians. And I think for those of us that get a caring physician that takes that time, we need to acknowledge that and just say, I know there is a cost to you in taking the time to take good care of me. And I really appreciate you balancing that cost out and treating me as a human
Mm-hmm.
and validating my needs and concerns. You know, like I think they need to hear that. And then number two, you can say, can you please refer me to somebody who is like you, who will listen and validate me and honor my concerns about my water weight and this and that, because she probably knows people that she respects that's like, oh yeah, this person really listens, this person really cares.
Yeah, I absolutely will. And I do appreciate her, and I appreciate my PCP. Like I said, she'll get me anything I need. She just doesn't have the answers to this, and that's
Yeah,
okay.
right.
That's okay, because just having someone in your corner makes such a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
And when you were saying stuff earlier about you went in and you ran and you did things, you walked for 3 miles, which is huge.
It's
I
so funny because it
remember
doesn't feel big to me.
it's
I'm like, it
so
was
that's
just three
so huge.
miles.
I
Ah.
know, but it's so huge when I mean, that's a big that's, 1 foot in front of the other, but that's a
Mhm.
3 mile, 1 foot in front of the other, which I know I understand the difficulty of it. I know it because after heart surgery, I went through rehab. You have to go through cardiac rehab. And so they want you to go do things. And the first thing they had me do was walking. And I walked for 10 minutes in their little whatever thing that they wanted me to walk. And um, I couldn't walk the rest of the week. So I had
Mhm.
to cancel my second appointment that week. So I was going twice a week. And I'm just like, we got to figure something else out here, because I can't not be able to get up and walk to the bathroom because I spent one day doing this. Like
Yeah.
we have to find something better to get me going again. And it was a struggle. It was a
Yeah.
struggle because how you want to push yourself. So I'm ready to push myself now again. Of course, I'm exhausted all the time, but like I know it's inside and I can't see all the stuff that they did, but they have to get to a lot to take out a lot, which means there's a lot of healing that has to go on. So I know I have to wait 6 weeks before I can start, but I want to start
Yeah.
on my vibration plate because I want to shake some things loose. I want to get
Mhm.
that lymphatic system up and running again. I've
Mhm.
got some, I want to be able to go walking as the weather, hopefully in 6 weeks or 4 more weeks, starts to change and we get it a little nicer out. It's a little easier to walk. I'm not walking on snow and ice. We have a lot of
Mhm.
ice here in Minnesota. I didn't know if you knew that. It's been really
In
brutal
more
and
ways
hard
than one.
to deal with. And
Does it? That's
uh
a nice little
you like that?
Yeah.
That's our weather report. And we still have it, which even though the weathermen were out there saying that it was going to like, the weather was supposed to be changing and get a lot nicer and warm up a bit.
By about
Unfortunately,
700 degrees.
by about 700, we actually, it is not. We still have a lot of ice and some snow. And um,
I'm
so,
sorry, I don't
yes,
mean to be laughing because this is terrible, but it's just cute how you're doing this.
yeah. I can find a way to put it in anything. And so luckily we've had our neighbors to help keep the community warm and safe as much as possible. And that's what it's all about. So
Mhm.
talking about communities, I do want to make sure we get a chance to, we share a lot about what we're going through. We know you guys are going through a lot, that
Mhm.
you've been dismissed, not listened to, gaslit by. That's what this episode is about, is the cost of medical gaslighting and how I had a tumor growing in me that got to the size of my fist over probably 5 or 6 years and nobody diagnosed. But I knew something was wrong. It's probably more wrong with me than just that. My brain could be off a little bit too, but I it, you have to find the armor that you need to put on to fight for yourself. And so
Mhm.
we want to be a community that helps you put on that armor and fight the fight that you need to get the health care that you deserve, and not sit in a shame box thinking that it's wrong. Because I could have taken what those 3 doctors said to me and never have done a thing and just gone home and been like, I need to diet and exercise, but I can't. And I'm trying so hard. And I could have sat and I could have been with that. And who knows what could have happened next. I was lucky. It was precancerous, but not cancerous yet. I am so lucky that I sat there. And the reason that I have the courage to do that is because of this podcast. It's because of you, Tiphany. It's because of the people that I watch now that I'm attuned, aware of, that I see that are now filling my feeds, and Dr. Bio and all these different people, Dr. Aaron Nance. There's a lot of people on the social medias that are talking about being gaslit and talking about these things. I wouldn't have had the courage to say, I don't believe you. And that's not the words I would have used. I would have dropped an F-bomb in there. But I don't believe you. I am not fat. This is not what this is. I need help. I need to push this farther. Give me these dang consults and let's figure this out. If I hadn't had the courage to do that, and I get that courage from community, from people like you, Tiphany, from these people that are inspiring me, from talking about it on this podcast, to get out there and demand and not leave without getting what I need.
Yep.
Was the only reason that I was able to get care that I absolutely needed, that probably could have saved my life. Yeah. And we want to be that community for you. So up in the left-hand corner, I think it's in the left-hand corner for you. I don't know which corner. It's in one of these corners.
That corner for me.
Okay. There we go. So I want you guys grab that QR code. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. We are building a community for you to share your stories.
A free community, 100% free. We're never going to charge you.
I don't want a credit card. I want your name and your email, and then you get to create a password so you can log in and be part of the community. It is not on social media. It is on a private platform. So there's none of the advertising and the bots and all the other junk. We want to make this a safe place for you so that we can help get you your armor so you can fight for your health, because you do deserve it. You absolutely need to surround yourself with people who will lift you up and help you get the care, because it could literally save your life.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing that we wanted to get out today.
And in a world of grifters and wellness influencers and people that are constantly trying to take your money, I want to assure you that Brie and I have no desire to do that. Mm-hmm. We get a lot of healing from us being able to share our stories, and we want to help you have that healing as well. We do not want to add to your stress. It's so expensive already to be battling with chronic illness and to be battling the system. So we don't have ulterior motive. As far as your email goes, eventually we're probably going to be sending out resources, newsletters, things of that sort that will help you. We are never going to ask you for money or anything like that. That is not our goal. Our goal is to help you be a little corner of sanity for you in an insane environment. I'd love to get a book club going. There's so many good books out there. We'd love to give you resources, even social media, like follow this person, follow that person. They have really good information. We just want to be a resource. We want to be a hub. We want to be a calm place in the insanity. And we're not going to charge you for that. So I want you to know there's not an ulterior motive in us doing this community. We're not going to charge you. We have no desire to do that.
Yeah, Tiphany and I decided to start this podcast because we're old friends. She's my mentor. Everything I've learned about podcasting came from Tiphany. I absolutely adore working with her.
It's my fault, everybody.
It's all her fault. Yes, it's all her fault. And we were both suffering, and I saw her suffering and going through so much, and I reached out to her and I said, this would make a great podcast. And what we have always believed in podcasting is it is a way to share a message and unite people and to uplift people. And that is what we're in it for. We're not in it for any other reason. If we have one person listening and following and hanging out with us to 100,000, that's not changing who we are and why we're doing this. We are literally doing this because we know how important it is, because we've walked it together. We've
Yeah.
both been through our journeys, and we understand every single day. Like I said, if it wasn't for this podcast and, getting the resources and just the, I don't even know what to call it. The courage. I get courage from you. I get courage from sharing our stories to
Yeah.
go and fight harder and stronger and better. And it's because of this that I'm doing
Yeah.
that. So if we can be that for you, that's what we want to be.
Yeah.
And that's why we do this. No other reason but we don't want to be famous on social media for this. That's not what this is about. This is
Mhm.
literally, we're on a small platform that the nice thing is it translates it. So if English isn't your first language, you can still participate. It'll translate it all into your own language. It'll translate all of our podcasts into your own language. We just want to be a support system for
Yeah.
you. And so that's what this is all about. The link is in the description of this podcast. The QR code is up in one of the corners. I don't even know
It's
anymore.
one
I
of these.
can't. Well, it's there. But Tiphany, as we wrap things up today, I 2026 has been interesting in more ways than one. But I feel like we stepped forward when we walked into it.
Mhm.
And I want to keep stepping forward. And
Yeah.
I know it's not going to be easy, and we're going to still have to fight like hell.
Yeah.
But I invite you to step forward with us and let us help you on your journey. Tiphany, I'll let you close us out, and then we will see you again soon.
Your health matters. This is like a big deal. Let's take shame out of the equation. Your health matters. You have partners in your corner. You have friends in your corner. You are not alone. Let's get through this together. You matter. You matter. So we're going to get through this together. And it's little by little, we're going to change the system, and we're going to do it. So
There we are.
thank you to everybody who listens. We do want to hear your story. So share in the comments. We want to start bringing people on that have, interesting stories and interesting ways they're navigating the environment, the system, and the ways they're trying to make the system better. So share your stories. And if you know somebody you think would be great for the podcast, let us know.
Yeah, and share it with a friend, because we all are on our own health journeys. So share with a friend who you think might benefit from this show. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.